250-gallon, 6-foot-long tank with an Amphilophus trimactus and a Cuban cichlid. This is not a monster tank or a monster fish. What's up, guys? It's your boy Scott coming to you with another new video. Now, before we get started, I have to thank each and every one of you guys who sent me private messages, emails, telling me to get better soon, wishing me well, telling me to get better soon. I greatly appreciated it. It meant a lot to me. I do feel much better than I did last Sunday on my live feed. If I can just get over this cough, I'll be 100%. Thank God Thanksgiving's coming and I have about 4 days off to recoup. But again, guys, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. It really does. Now, today's subject, a little controversial. Hey, you kind of know that from me. What constitutes a monster fish or monster fish tank? I'm seeing more and more titles and thumbnails with monster fish, massive fish, huge tanks, etc. Many of these people, in my opinion, don't have a lot of experience working with larger fish. So today I want to talk about what I consider to be large or monster fish and large or monster tanks. Okay? So come on, guys, let's get ready to go. Let's take a look at the fish room and we'll talk about this topic that seems to be trending really well at YouTube and getting people lots of views and lots of subscribers. Alright, guys, come on. Alright, guys, those of you who have been with me long enough know that I keep large Central and South American cichlids. That's my passion, that's what I love to keep. I do a study or focus on the Parachromis and the Amphilophus family. Those are my two favorite families in the cichlid department, and I've been doing that for years. Again, you guys know my bio. I've worked for the ACA, I work for CARES. So I do have a history of experience in taking care of these larger fish and doing it successfully. So now I'm not here to bash any channels. I'm not going to say any names, but what I would like to talk about is what constitutes the words huge fish, massive fish, or massive fish, monster tank, huge tank, etc. What constitutes that? I'm going to give you my opinion. In this vast fish room that I have that you guys enjoy seeing from time to time, 90% of my tanks are 6 foot long, 125, 150, all the way up to a 300-gallon tank in the back that's 7 feet long. Now, out of all these tanks, the only one that I would consider a monster fish tank is this 7 foot long, 300-gallon tank in the back that stocks 2 arowanas, a pike cichlid, the Crinocichlid lenticulata, and my sturgeon, the starlet sturgeon, which is going to get anywhere from 2 to 3 feet. I mean, I can't wait for you to see this sturgeon, because if you guys remember back in July, I picked him up. It's just now November, and I think he's doubled in size already. He's already as long as the pike cichlid in the same tank. So why don't we take a closer look at the tank that I consider a monster fish tank, and then maybe in the comments below you can let me know what you think constitutes the word huge, massive, monster, etc. So come on, guys, let's take a look at the 7 foot long, 300-gallon tank with my arowanas, pike cichlid, and sturgeon. Let's go. I think you're gonna like it. guys, we are back, and I am so ready to talk about monster fish and monster fish tanks. And I hope you guys will leave me comments below letting me know your thoughts about it as well. But right now, in my opinion, on YouTube, when it comes to aquatics and fish and etc., nothing is trending more than the words huge, massive monster fish or fish tanks. I see it everywhere. And I see people that I've never seen before in the fish hobby with 200,000 subscribers putting up monster and huge fish tanks on their thumbnails. And when I watch the videos, it's got this like hip hop music in the background, and it's this young dudes, and they're setting up tanks, and quite honestly, I can tell they have very little experience with large fish, much less the hobby in general. When I watch people go to a fish store after they just set up their tank and go to the store owner and say, hey, will this fish go with that fish? If you don't already know that, then you haven't done your research. Do your research. Make sure, first of all, let me say this. I'm super excited that large fish, large cichlids, large tanks are trending now. More people are getting into it. I've been keeping large fish in large tanks for over 30 years, so I'm excited to see that the trend is now going to larger fish and larger tanks. I think it's great. What I don't want is a bunch of inexperienced people jumping on stuff, trying to do stuff that they see on YouTube that is incorrectly done, and then having failure after failure to the point where they're not only killing fish, but they get so disappointed and upset in the hobby that they leave the hobby as quickly as they came into it. My hope is that you guys will tune in to people like myself, Ohio Fish Rescue, Predatory Fins, who are two of the top channels that really, honestly, keep monster, massive, huge fish and tanks. If you're not subscribed to the Ohio Fish Rescue or Predatory Fins, do it today, because those are the two channels that are really keeping monster fish and monster tanks and doing it the correct and right way. There's really nothing in my room right now that I would consider monster other than this tank behind me, which is my 7-foot long 300-gallon tank, 2 FX6 filters, and a large sponge filter. I would consider that a large, huge tank. 7-foot long, 300-gallon tanks. To me, that's a pretty big tank. Now, in the tank are 2 arowanas, a sterlet sturgeon, and a pipe cichlid, Queencichlids lenticulata, and all of those fish will get 2 feet or more. So I guess what I'm saying is, for me to call something huge or a monster fish, it's going to have to be something pushing, tank-wise, it's going to have to be at least 6 foot long and at least 180 to 220 gallons for me to call it large or huge. And fish-wise, if you're going to call a fish monster fish, I think they should be 2 feet or longer, or have the potential to be 2 feet or longer to call it a huge or monster fish. Now, I've been keeping fish, large cichlids, from Central and South America for over 30 years. So, if you've been keeping nano fish or doing nano tanks, and now you get into my area of keeping larger fish, you might think that a jaguar cichlid that gets to about 20 inches or Amphilophus citronellus Midas cichlid that gets to about 20 inches is a monster fish. And you may be right. But for me, the only way I consider a fish monster, huge, massive is if it gets over 2 feet long. That's just the metrics that I'm using. Not saying it's right or wrong. That's the metrics I'm using. What I don't want to see, and what's really trending lately on YouTube, is content creators putting huge, massive, monster on their thumbnails, talking about tanks that are 55 gallons and fish that barely reach 12 to 13 inches. They're doing it because they want views. They're doing it because they want subscribers. Many times it does work, but many of these channels don't have the experience and are not giving out the proper information. That's just my opinion. I'm hopeful that you guys, when you come to King and Queen Cichlids, are coming because you want to learn how to take care of the cichlids and the fish that I take care of the way I do. If you span this room and if you go back to some of my first videos on YouTube, you're going to see many of the same fish that are on my first videos still in my fish tanks today. Many of these fish I've had for lots and lots of years. To me, that's a sign of success. You don't want to go through fish after fish after fish, because that's not the proper way of keeping fish. Central and South American cichlids that I keep, the Parachromis and the Amphilophus family, should live 20 to 30 possible years. So, you know, there's going to be a point, and I think I'm at that point now, where you're going to see less and less fish being entered into my tanks because these guys are healthy and doing well, and there's not going to be any room for me to go to a shop every other week and bring home a fish. I mean, I would have to start up a new tank every other month to keep up with that. So hopefully you guys will be, and I will be entertaining enough that you will keep viewing us every Friday and enjoy just my daily routine in the fish room, because I'm not going to be turning and burning fish. I'm not going to be doing that over and over again. I take pride in my fish, and I take pride in keeping my fish healthy, happy, and for many, many years. Okay? And I kind of got off the topic, but I get a little, and this is probably the closest you're ever going to get from a rant from me. 9 times out of 10, I'm really politically correct. I don't try to put anyone under the bus, and I don't try to put any, you know, channels on spotlight. I'm not going to say any names or any channel names like that, but there are some channels that are using what's trendy to get views and to get subscribers, and I think some of these channels have very little to zero experience on how to really properly keep them. Moving forward, I am going to try to show you more of what I do to keep these fish happy, healthy, and living for year after year after year. As I said, there's not going to be a lot of me bringing in new fish. I know people want to see that, but quite honestly, if you take care of your fish right, your fish will live for a lot of years, and you're not going to be bringing in fish after fish after fish. So hopefully you guys will like, you know, seeing me take care of my fish, seeing them breed. You know, we've talked about projects that are going to take place in 2020 as far as trying to breed the Oscar cichlids, trying to breed the Cuban cichlids, and etc. So hopefully that stuff will excite you guys and keep you coming back to our channel. Alright guys, so again, that was my talk about monster fish and monster fish tanks. I would love to hear your comments about what you think is the proper definition of monster fish and monster fish tanks. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, where it's kind of being trendy and a lot of people are using these words to get views and get subscribers? What are your thoughts on that? I know it's kind of a controversial topic, but I want to discuss it. I want to talk about it. Keeping large cichlids and fish is important to me. It's important that it's done properly, and I want to make sure that I am giving out the best information, and if there's anything I can do to help people stop getting bad information, I want to do it. Alright guys, so we're going to pick up this topic Sunday live at 8 Eastern PM. And again, please leave your comments, your thoughts, and tell me if I'm crazy or not. I mean, I could be totally off base or whatever, but in my opinion, again, there's only 2 channels that are really doing monster, massive, huge fish. And that's the Ohio Fish Rescue, and that's Predatory Fin. So definitely check those channels out. Alright guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it already. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, leave comments below so I know what I can do to improve your experience at King and Queen Cichlids. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, thank you for all the well wishes, emails, private messages telling me to get well. I do appreciate it so much. See you guys Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live. We're going to talk about this topic, and I'm sure we'll talk about several others. Don't forget that Aquafunk will be on at 5. Excuse me, Aquafunk will be on at 6. Suzuki will be on at 7. I'll be on at 8 o'clock. So look forward to seeing you guys. Alright guys, thank you so much for viewing. Keep your hands wet and enjoy this hobby for all it's worth. Bye bye.